All right, what if we had a decimal that was 6.34? That's going to be nasty. Let's do 6.35. What the heck? Live dangerously. Well, it's going to be a lot easier to change to a percent than it is to a fraction, isn't it? So let's do that first. Which way do we move the decimal point? To the right. So 6.35 is actually 635%, isn't it? Now, here's something that's good in math and it's good in all of life. When in doubt, remind yourself of something that you know is true. When in doubt, remind yourself of something you know is true. 1% is what as a decimal? It's 0.01, isn't it? The whole number 1 is what as a percent? It's 100%, isn't it? If I have one pizza, I have 100% of that pizza. Okay? So if I've got 5 pizzas, I've got 500% of that pizza. Okay? Because it's 500. So if I've got 6 of something, it makes sense that it should be over 600%, shouldn't it? So sometimes it helps to remind ourselves what range we're in. All right, let's do this fraction. Now, there's 3 ways we can look at percent. Percent, we said, means divided by 100, doesn't it? Well, here's 635%. 635 divided by 100. Sound like a fraction to me, doesn't it? 635 divided by 100. That's the fractional equivalent of that. Now, that's not in its lowest terms, is it? Because there's something into the 5 we know is divisible by what? By 5. Something ends with a 0, it's also divisible by 5, isn't it? So we know that 5 is going to divide both of those. So let's divide the top one by 5. Does that look right? And the bottom one? Now the only things that divide into this are 2 and 5. 2 times 2 times 5. 2 doesn't go into that. 5 doesn't go into that. So that's it. All right. That's the lowest form that you can get there. Why do we reduce fractions? Well, there's a real practical reason. What if you got this answer and someone else in the class got this answer and someone else in the class got this answer and someone else in the class got this answer? It would look like we all got different answers. But they're really all the same, aren't they? But we wouldn't know that unless we reduced them all. Then we'd all end up with this same thing. So that's the practical reason for reducing the fraction, so that we know that it's the same as this other reduced fraction. So on the test, if you put 635 over 100, I'd give you half credit. But if you reduce it, I'll give you full credit. Okay. All right, let's do another one. Let's see, we started with a fraction, then we started with a decimal. Now let's do a percent. .7%. Now again, let's figure out what range we're in. Is that more or less than 1%? Is 0.7 more or less than 1? It's less. 0.7 is less than 1. So 0.7% is less than 1%. So if 1% is 0.01, then this thing needs to be smaller than that, right? So we go 2 places to the left. and we get 0.007, which indeed is smaller than 0.01. Okay. This is a tiny number. This is a fraction of a percent. Now let's figure out how we change it to a fraction. How do we read this number? We read it as 7 tenths, hundredths, thousandths. We read that decimal as 7 thousandths. Well, there's a fraction that is 7 thousandths, isn't it? Now, there's kind of an easy little shortcut. You take this number, whatever it is, you put it on the top of the fraction. Then you stick a 1 under it, and then you count how many decimal places you have. How many decimal places do we have here? 3. That's how many zeros you stick after the 1. That keeps you from having to say tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. You just put the number on top, stick a 1 there, and put however many zeros after the 1 as there are decimal places. So I'll give you fractions, decimals, and percents, and you'll need to convert them to the other two things. Okay, let's do one more thing, and we'll be done.